stand by any people out there that are watching. I want to make sure that we are live through Facebook and Instagram before we get started. Yes. Okay. I see we are live on Facebook and Instagram. So, welcome. We're just going to take just a quick moment because I know there's a delay with going from here to live stream. And I just want to give everyone the opportunity to get on board. Okay. All right. So I gave everybody a few moments to join in. So welcome and good evening to all of our lovely fans out there. I hope everyone is having a great day. Keisha, you having a great day?
Oh yeah, having a wonderful day. How about you?
Oh, girl, you know I'm just chilling. I went ahead and decorated outside today, so your girl made herself tired.
Oh yeah,
I've been today too. That fall time, that season. I love Halloween.
Oh,
but let's go ahead and get into our topic for tonight. So the topic is, when do you stop babying your child? And of course, there's levels to this, okay? I see Robert has already joined in with us. Good topic tonight. Yes. I am hoping we get a lot of interaction with people tonight. Children is a touchy topic. Some parents don't like to be told how to raise their children. Some people are a little clueless on how to raise their children. And then some people, you've been doing this for decades and you got a football league of children, so you know what you're doing by now.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about it. So babying your child, there's stages to this, right? We have how do you treat your child when they're 1 to say like 9 or 10, and then you get the preteen stage to that 18, I think who I am, you can't tell me anymore. And then you have your grown child who should probably be off at college or to buy a house and make a family. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So babying your child, there's many meanings to this, right? We tend to coddle our children the younger that they are, and as they start to get older, do you continue to coddle that child, or do you cut the cord and be like, oh, you want to be grown, you're going to start taking responsibility? Let's talk about that. So Keisha, you have a few children, so
Oh yeah.
when your children were of this young age, that tender 1 to 10 years old, I mean, how much do you coddle them? Like, do you run and jump for every time that they fall on the ground and get a boo-boo, or a little scrape, or mommy, come help me, or do you tell them, brush that off, you good, get up, go play?
Well, see, I'm all over the place now. I'm in 22, 16, and 7.
Yeah.
So it's like things that you did with the 22-year-old is a new stage with the 7-year-old. Because times change, technology change, all those things change. Even strollers change.
Facts.
So now, and it's also like that. You ever seen that Love's commercial with a first child, you have all the protective gear, and then you're like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this. Then by the time the second child run around, you're like, just let them go play in the dirt. You know? So
Exactly.
I feel as the time goes by and with each child, my position changed, my age changed.
Mm,
so,
yeah.
so when you're a little bit younger, you're a little bit more springier with the first child, and then when you
Yes.
get to like your 40 somethings and you have a 7-year-old, it's like, okay, let me not run right after them, or anytime they fall, let me not just hurry up and pick them up. Just let them pick themselves up and dust themselves off.
Definitely. Definitely. I get that. You know, I think I was the opposite with my first and my only. you know, I was like, get up, you're fine. There's a little blood. It's okay. We're going to wipe that off.
Oh
Go back
yeah.
and play. My child put me through lots of scares. He had stitches 3 times before he was 5. So I had a rough little boy, and I tried my best to not baby him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not the coddler. Now that I'm older in life and in my 40s, I don't know what it would be like. I guess,
Mm-hmm.
when grandchildren come around, I'll probably be like, oh, come here, grandma's gonna take care of that for you. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I'll probably be babying them, and my son's gonna probably look like, bro, you told me wipe it off.
Oh yeah.
What a difference.
Oh yeah.
But um let's also talk about being at such a young age. um like, do you monitor what your child is exposed to,
Mm-hmm.
or do you expose your child and give them teaching moments? Like,
Mm-hmm.
are you only having your child watching, Sesame Street and Blue's Clues and I don't know, whatever the heck else is out? I know there's other. Don't judge me. I don't have any little kids, so I don't
I
know
know all
all
the
of these
shows.
shows. Like, it was Yo Gabba Gabba and stuff like that when my son was little. I don't know the
Oh
shows
yeah.
today, you know.
Oh yeah.
But like, is it just children's, television in your home, or do you just, let them watch regular TV and give them teaching moments when it comes up? How do you handle that?
Well, for me, I'm a little bit different because I was exposed to a lot
Mhm.
when I was younger. Like my
Yeah.
mother brought me the "Where Do I Come From" books, and it
Mm.
actually showed a penis, a vagina, and I'm like 8 years old looking at it, like, oh, okay,
Oh, this is normal.
Oh, yes. And then my dad, he was always the hip guy and into all types of music and stuff. So we were able to listen to music that had curses. We're like 12 years old going to see Under the Cherry Moon and Purple Rain. you know?
Probably should not have been watching that, but we did.
Yes. But it was almost like, I guess sometimes it's like, say, how do I say it? Say as I do, say as I say, or not as I do. I mix up
No,
the
you
expression.
just made me confused because it was there and then it was like it just disappeared. Do as I say, not as I do.
Right. So, I've seen cursing and, you've seen certain things, but I knew not to do it,
Mm-hmm.
because it was already ingrained. Okay, well, you're not going to curse in front of me. You're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. Yeah, we expose you to these little different things,
Mm.
but you have to have a balance and a level of respect to not repeat these things, especially at the age that we were.
Yeah,
I feel these kids today sometimes, I guess it's like my grandmother used to say, they don't have no common sense.
girl.
So
Yes.
you
Yes.
show
There
you
should be a
show them all
class
these
on
things.
common sense
Yes,
because it doesn't exist.
yes. Yeah. It's like you show them these things, and it's like, okay, you want to for me, I want to expose them to different things, I
Yeah.
want to be able to go to an art museum and they see a naked person and they'll be like, oh my goodness. And they're like bugging out that that's a naked person.
Yes.
But then it's also like, where do you draw the line to be like, okay, you see this in art, but don't imitate certain things. Y'all don't want you to walk in the street naked,
Yeah.
you know?
That'd be a problem. What are you teaching your kids at home?
Yeah. So it's just to try to find that balance of how to expose them to things, but then
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, let them know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
So
I feel
and
you. I feel you.
yeah,
I ask you these questions because obviously people out there are going to be able to relate, but you are, still in those stages because you have
mhm,
young children. So
yeah,
it's relevant for today.
oh yeah,
Whereas, my child is grown. My child is
hmm
25. It's been a minute, since I've cared about what's playing on the radio and
oh
or
yeah,
the sex scenes on the TV.
hmm
Um, I was exposed to so much when I was young. There was no monitoring. I mean, maybe like, I don't know, I wasn't allowed to watch, the Playboy channel, but I
hmm
did. Um,
you a sneaky
I was
Tina.
sneaking on the stairs.
Uh-huh.
But House was a movie that had so many naked scenes and stuff like that when we were younger, where like something
Oh
like
yeah,
that today is normal. Like
oh
it's
yeah,
like watching, the news, you know?
oh yeah,
Um, times are different. So I just I'm curious, like, how many people out there monitor what their children watch? Do you do you put the parental controls on your TV where it's only G rated that shows
hmm
up on your TV? Are you telling the child, the children, you're not allowed to watch TV unless mommy and daddy put a show on for you? Or are your children just running amok? And,
hmm
like that's what I did with my kid. I really didn't monitor everything. He
hmm
felt awkward enough when like a kissing scene would come on and he'd be like, I supposed to look at this? Like he didn't know what to do.
oh yeah,
But, my child was also listening to uncensored songs and things like that
hmm
when he was little, and he just knew not to say the curses. He would make up
hmm
words for the bad words he wasn't supposed to be saying.
oh
I
yeah,
didn't close out the world from
hmm
him. I wanted him to see this is life and you have to
hmm
make choices. Are you going to be the good kid or are you going to be the bad kid who has to deal with the consequences now?
hmm
So
hmm
how many people out there, I know y'all are watching. I know you're listening. Please feel free, comment in, how do you monitor your children?
And
Um,
what happened to the point, like, with our parents? My father always believed in like a idea of he not locking nothing up, he not turning nothing on. So it's kind of like with the kids, I'm trying to do the same thing almost. Like I'm not
mm,
locking no doors in here. The parental, that's another thing. When you have your spouse and you have different views,
yeah.
he's more into let's put all the parental stuff on. I'm more of I said don't touch it, don't touch it. That's it.
Exactly. I'm gonna whoop that behind if I see you touch it.
Oh yeah. So it's kind of like but the kids today they're so advanced with different little things. you know, it's almost some like when it comes to the iPad and stuff like that. My
Yeah.
7-year-old knows stuff that I don't know, and I'm like,
Mm.
could you help me out here?
Exactly. This is when I need you to step out that comfort zone.
Oh yeah,
Mommy don't know.
oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad that you bring up the point of both parents having to be on the same page. I mean,
Yes.
that's a difficult thing as well. Um, when your children are young, they're impressionable. So one parent might feel okay with not monitoring certain things or
Mhm.
not keeping their child on lockdown. And then the other parent is over here, running around like, lock everything up,
Oh yeah.
turn off the light, the TV's on, like they
No
might
biggie
be
smalls.
exactly.
Well, now it's Cardi B. That was
Girl. WAP. Yeah, like what kid is watching this? They shouldn't be watching this.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like I shouldn't be watching it. It's just kind of, well, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
grown.
like something.
I'm grown, but I just feel like when I'm watching these things, I'm like, oh, kids are watching this. Like I feel some
Mhm.
kind of way.
Oh yeah, doing the dance and everything. It's like, oh wait a
Yes.
minute.
Girl, I can remember when we were young. I mean, like, think about it, like Two Live Crew. Were your
Mhm.
parents okay with you listening and watching videos from Two Live Crew? Like,
Mhm.
song comes on the radio and it's like, me so horny. And my
Oh yeah.
family was like, what? What
Oh
are
yeah.
you? You ain't listening to this stuff. Turn that Hot 97 off,
Oh yeah.
Um, today, how difficult is it to turn that stuff off? We're all listening to it. We all grew up in that era,
Mhm.
and our children are growing up within like the same era as us. I mean, like there was a separation between us and our parents,
Oh yeah.
two
Mhm.
completely types of generations. But
Oh
I
yeah.
think we're more in tune with our children now. How do
Mhm.
we create that separating barrier?
Mhm.
That's difficult. you
Oh
know
yeah.
I see Callis says you try to not keep them too sheltered. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that statement.
Mhm.
You don't want to shelter your child too much because they're going to go to school and there's going to be some kid who runs amok. There's going to be a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
kids that run amok, but they're going to be exposed from their friends. And
Mhm.
you don't have a say in that. It's difficult because it's kind of like your kid is sneaking around like, I ain't gonna tell mommy and daddy that I know about blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
I feel like sheltering them, you're doing yourself a disservice. You want to give those teaching moments to your children.
Mhm.
I think that's important.
Oh
um,
yeah.
I also think that it's important for both parents to be on the same page, because when you have two parents who are constantly disagreeing about
Mhm.
how do you raise your children, how do you monitor them, how do you chastise them,
Oh yeah.
when you're on two different pages, the children see that and they're like,
Oh,
oh, so mommy doesn't want us to see this, and that. So I'm going to go ask daddy because he's a little bit more lenient, and now you're
oh
putting
yeah.
both parents against each other.
Oh yeah. That happens a lot, you know? But
That,
it's trying to find, like, well, me and my husband, we do disagree a lot on a lot of things. You know,
mhm,
he's more sheltering with the kids as far as what some of the things that they can watch. And for me, because I grew up, it also depends on upbringing too.
yeah,
Because I grew up watching certain things, and I'm like, I didn't go out and do these things, but my parents exposed me to some of these things. Music for us was music. We listened to everything, every style, and it was to interpret uh and feel good off of. Now, some of the songs, like I said, some of them Cardi B songs,
mhm,
it's a little too much for my 7-year-old.
yes,
But whatever drum beat they got in there, we love the sound. So it's like, do they got the version with just the drum beat? So I can now listen to the drum beat, Or what's that 6-9? I don't know with that sound that they use.
yeah,
But it's just trying to keep the balance. And because we are so on opposite sides of the spectrum, and try to keep the balance of, okay, when they do want to try to cross acts or something like that, then that's when we got to be on the same page. you
yes,
know but it is hard because I believe in a tap or two on the butt. He doesn't. You
I,
know?
I 100% agree with tapping on the butt.
Yeah, so at that point, it's kind of like, okay, how are we gonna come to what needs to be a tap on the butt? Like, okay, this was really extreme.
Hmm.
I gotta tap that butt to let them know, or tap them little hands to
Yeah.
say you don't touch this stove, or you don't do
Hmm.
so and so. And then and then it kind of sometimes balances itself out. Then sometimes it's like you tap their butt, you know. Um, but I make it a point to you don't because some people want to hit kids every second they get. I
Mm.
make it a point to only tap when necessary and when things are sometimes extreme. And then after a certain age, you're not tapping kids' butts anyway,
Not at all.
especially boys. Like after 10, 11, there's a different type of um, discipline that's needed.
Yeah.
And then that's why I always say, too, sometimes they do need certain things from the man because he can understand another man where us women, we're going to teach him how to be a gentleman. We're going to teach him how to do certain things and love on people. But there's certain things that he needs to learn from that man to develop his manhood, you know?
Yes.
So it's really a balancing act, I think, you know,
I
and
agree.
it's also a sacrifice.
Mm. Sacrifice. That's a key word.
Yes.
When
When you,
when you are in a relationship and raising a family,
mm-hmm.
um, there's lots of sacrifice that
Oh,
is
yeah.
made. Sometimes your own sanity is a sacrifice
Oh, yeah.
because you're trying to hold it together, and
Oh, yeah.
mommy might need to take some pills for the day because she can't get through it anymore. Where's that bottle of wine?
Oh, yeah.
But sacrifice, yes, I like that you brought up that word. That's a strong word.
Mm-hmm.
um and it should touch a lot of people who are watching right now and listening. Sacrifice. You are raising children and you want them to be good individuals. You want them to contribute to society. But when does that sacrifice become a nightmare for you?
Mm. Mm.
Because I mean, we all, as parents, we all sacrifice. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not rocking the new Jordans, but my kid is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, I'm gonna, rock them champions or something. Like, I don't rock champions, but whatever. I'm not judging the next person. But there were times that, I caught myself back in the day. I'm at Rainbow and I'm at Mandy's and stuff like that, trying to be cute,
Mm-hmm.
but not breaking my pockets because my child was breaking my pockets.
Mm-hmm.
That was a sacrifice that I was willing to make because, not for nothing, when our children are in school, it's keeping up with the Joneses. It's a fashion show and who has and who doesn't. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't have something, you're a loser, as
Mm-hmm.
said per kids, like, you're not the cool kid. Nobody wants to hang out with you. You're wearing them penny loafers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are your parents doing to you? You know, um, the sacrifice that's on the small end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice on the large end of the spectrum is, how is your relationship holding up?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're
Oh,
not
yeah.
on the same page with everything. You have your style, I have my style. We're
Mm-hmm.
constantly bickering. It's to the point where, like, is this a marriage anymore? We're talking
Mm-hmm.
divorce.
Oh, yeah.
And again, that word sacrifice, how much are you willing to sacrifice to do for your children to make that family work?
Oh, yeah.
So,
A lot of times, women, we do the most sacrificing.
mm,
You know, we
yes,
compromise and try to. I'm not gonna say because there's dads out there that sacrifice. I'm not gonna say that there's no dads that don't
very
sacrifice,
true. Very true.
but oftentimes it's women that makes the largest sacrifice as far as the time that's put in, even sometimes with the emotional aspect of raising a child. A lot of times I think the woman, you need that emotional thing from the woman, just like you need the manhood thing from the woman, because not only the the manhood thing from the man, because
Yeah,
not only the manhood thing.
I'm not giving manhood. I mean, I've had to teach my child a thing or two, but you know,
Yeah,
it's only so much I can teach.
yeah, because it also plays on it both, because not only do sons need their fathers, daughters need their fathers as well, and vice versa for sons, but women sacrifice a lot of things, more so because the father is like a prime example. You could sit there, you could do the homework, you could cook the meals and everything else. Daddy walks in the door, it's playtime. Daddy's there.
Yes. And mommy's like, what did I just say? Didn't I say sit down and be quiet? Go do that homework.
Oh yeah, it's almost like you chop liver afterwards.
Pretty much.
Even as far as relationships is concerned, a lot of times, like I always say, you'll never see. No, I can say never because I hate to say that word sometimes.
Yeah,
you're more likely to see someone that's like a paraplegic man with a able-bodied woman than vice versa, than having like a paraplegic woman with an able-bodied man. I feel women a lot of times sacrifice and do things that men wouldn't do, but we still need each other to balance each other out.
This is true. This is true. It's hard to be, bad cop to the good cop parent, like I use this term loosely because I don't want anybody to be confused that we're just saying, the women are the only ones making things happen, because I've seen some women that are not making anything happen. And the man has taken on the role and has been the responsible parent and making the sacrifice. And the woman is sitting here like, I need my nails done and I need my hair did and my car ain't working and you need to fix it and I'll take care of these kids. Like I've seen women that are like that, and it's unfortunate. It's funny because like I think that there needs to be parenting classes for some people, or we need to start filling out like a family application before you even get into the relationship. Like, I need you to look at this checklist here and what type of parent are you? Are you into discipline? Are you going to sit here and you're going to clean up after these children? I feel like we need to do this with each other before even saying, let's go jump in that bed. Because if that kid comes and we ain't on the same page, that relationship is doomed from the start.
And that's goes for a lot of the young people. If any young people is watching right now, because some of these things we learned as we got older. Now, if I thought of some of those things when I was younger and getting with my man and everything, it would have been like, checklist no.
I'm gonna have to rethink this relationship. We're not compatible.
But we need to start telling these kids now, so that these are things that they know when they're getting into these relationships. Yeah, you can like the way they look, and you have a fun time. But when y'all starting to move towards seriousness, when you sleeping in that bed with no protection and stuff like that, y'all moving into, we could probably have a child zone. So you definitely need to know background of the people family. Because something could appear one way, like they compare to have the nicest family and you think everything is, they got the mother and the father set up and everything's hunky-dory. Meanwhile, you got some psycho over there with the mother, and this is what your potential mate has picked up. And it's, like I said, goes back to the upbringing. So now you don't know that these things were going on, and you get with this person, and this is a part of his upbringing.
Yes.
So now you didn't sit down and discuss, hey, so what are your, like you said, what are your views on this? What is this? How do we get together on how we're going to raise this child, you know?
Exactly. I mean, and not for nothing, a lot of people don't take that opportunity to do that. You know, there's so many questions when it comes to parenting styles,
Mm-hmm.
even down to, this is a completely different topic, but religion. You know, you get two people, they're like, oh, we're in love. Oh, yay,
Mm-hmm.
everything is great. And then you have children, and then you're fighting over, you know, you're going to baptize them, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
christen them, what religion are we going to follow for them? And then again, the parenting style, one parent might be coddling the children more than the other.
Yes.
So I truly feel like somebody needs to make this up. There needs to be a checklist on, are we right to have a family together?
Oh yeah.
Because this may not work, and I'm just going to continue my search because you're not fitting the bill.
Oh yeah.
you know I do want to stop for a second because I want to point out, Callis has chimed in a few times. We're not ignoring you. I appreciate the feedback. Sanity is at times sacrificed. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
This is facts. When
Oh
raising
yeah.
children, so your sanity is sometimes out the door.
Oh yeah.
The kids know,
Mm-hmm.
mommy or daddy is spaced out today.
Oh yeah.
Don't ask any questions. They might lose
Oh,
it. Callis also said, y'all are still appreciated. I think that was going back to, it's mostly mommy making the sacrifice.
oh yeah.
When daddy comes home and it's like, playtime.
Oh
And
yeah.
mommy's like, bro.
What?
um, Also said finances and how to raise kids are huge topics in relationship
Ooh.
building.
Oh
Could
yeah.
make or break. These are facts.
Oh yeah.
This is like the nitty gritty that
Mm-hmm.
we don't think of when we start raising children with someone.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely know. I was in a relationship that didn't work. We sacrificed and made it work for
Mm-hmm.
13 years. Um, but at some point, I broke and I was like, this sacrifice is over. Um, but I will say the one positive, and um, how we were different as parents is we actually agreed in the beginning when we first had our child, like before he was even born, we
Mm-hmm.
agreed with each other that no matter what, we were always going to be on the same page raising our child. And we actually took the time to discuss certain things
Oh
where, it's so funny because my son's father, he always said, we form like Voltron, like we're coming
yeah.
together, like we're getting it together. And,
Oh yeah.
again, my son is 25. And even to this day, we still have to be on the same page with
Very
raising our
important.
child. He's a
Mm-hmm.
grown man, he out there doing his own thing. He ain't living
Mm-hmm.
at home. That's going to be the next part of the conversation,
Mm.
you know, but, we have to still be on the same page because, again, you're raising a family, you are molding these little human beings to contribute to society, to be
Oh yeah.
productive later on in life. You don't want to be raising a child who's going to be stuck in a bubble and not even know how to make their own bed,
Oh yeah.
So, it brings me to a different type of parenting style, um, chores,
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes at it for a child at any age. I mean, your child could be 1 years old, and if you see that they're trying to sweep the floor like mommy, be like, yes, good job, keep
Oh yeah.
going. Oh, you
Oh
missed
yeah.
that spot, like I feel like you got to start if you see that they are taking an interest,
Oh yeah.
encourage it.
Oh yeah.
Don't be like, oh, put that broom down, you just making a mess. No,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be a starting point for you to start teaching that child
Oh yeah.
responsibility. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, this mom ain't cleaning up after you're behind. Like, we ain't doing this. We're not. Like, I got you on a couple of years, but then you gonna start picking something up and you gonna start cleaning.
Oh yeah.
You know, it goes a long way. People
Mm-hmm.
need to see that. Babying your child is not benefiting anybody.
Oh
It's
yeah.
hurting everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yeah,
Uh,
chores help build responsibility. It
yeah.
even helps, believe it or not, some people might say, well, how could it help build character? It is
Mm,
helping build character because it makes the child stand up. And
yes.
it's like, okay, well, I know the kitchen, the dishes is in the sink. I have to come and wash the dishes because I'm living in the household and
Mm,
I have to help them participate. But then, sometimes we've overdid stuff like, we've coddled, like you said,
mm,
and we get these bigger kids. Sometimes
yeah.
it's the first kid. Like for me, it's first kid. You're working, you're trying to do what you're doing with the kids. So you're like, oh no, let me just get everything, get it done and out the way. And
Yeah.
when they get to be 20, 25, you're like, what the hell are you doing? This is nothing. We need some help.
Exactly. You better get up off your butt, over
Oh,
here
yeah.
watching these videos and I gotta do my hair. Like, no, we ain't got no hair done. You
Oh
won't get
yeah.
some dishes done. How about
Oh
that?
yeah.
Better come clean this bathroom with all that hair in the
Mm-hmm.
drain. I want to stop for a second. I see Diane. Hey, Diane. She went ahead and commented, I can say my husband spoils my son, and I'm the one who says he has enough. Yes. Sometimes it's like that, one
Uh-huh.
parent just gives. Oh, it's okay. It's all
Mm-hmm.
right. Oh, they spilled the cake on the floor. It's okay. Mommy's gonna clean it up.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
no, mommy ain't gonna clean it up. I'm gonna make you lick that off the floor. Don't tell mama he's gonna clean it up. um, Kellis says, start them off early, bus and sew. Facts. Yes. It needs to be done. You know?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Listen, I know a lot of parents who do not give their children responsibilities, and
Mm-hmm.
mommies or daddies
Mm-hmm.
making the bed and doing the
Mm-hmm.
laundry and cleaning up in the kitchen and in the living room and putting the kids' toys away.
Oh yeah.
If your kid is 10, why are you cleaning up after them? They should
Mm-hmm.
be cleaning up something,
Mm-hmm.
Um, which brings me to another topic. If you are giving your child chores, are you giving them an allowance, or are you saying this is your job and we ain't paying you nothing? Like, how far are you willing to take that teaching experience?
I like allowances.
I like allowances too. My child had an allowance.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a regular thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we just gave him money, because he was a good kid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he earned it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it wasn't just, sweeping the floor or helping mommy out in the kitchen, or making his bed. Sometimes, I had my child in sports. And sometimes I had to make sure, like, you're giving all of your effort and you're going to get out there and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do your best. So my son played football.
Mm-hmm.
And the deal that his father and I made with him was every touchdown you get, we're going
Mm-hmm.
to buy you a video game.
Oh yeah.
My son was scoring touchdowns left and right. He was like, another video game, mommy? Okay, I'm going to run this ball in, He was
Mm-hmm.
on a mission, but I had to show him you earned something. You
Oh
worked
yeah.
hard, you practiced, you went out there, you gave it your all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not every parent can go out there and afford a video game for every time their kid scores a
Mhm.
touchdown or, a home run or something. But um, that was my way of teaching my child. I mean, it probably wasn't the best, but I did what I had to, and it taught him responsibility to
Yes.
to a degree.
Responsibility, incentive for the child to do something,
Yeah,
not that you have to, because we put them on this earth, we gave them food and shelter, so
girl.
not that we have to do the extra, but it does allow them to feel what I did was worthy and warranted, because
Mm,
sometimes when I'm not going to say that everything they do they have to get an allowance, but it shows them the incentive, and the it gives them motivation,
mm,
you know like when my daughter does something, now I can tell her to clean this whole kitchen and don't give her nothing,
yeah.
because sometimes I do.
Girl, I don't blame you. I ain't got
But
time to give you money every single time.
yeah, but we have established, me and my husband have established giving the children a monthly allowance,
Okay.
because not only, because we're not rich, we can't buy everything that they want, so not
Yes.
only does it help them learn what saving and give them an incentive to be like, okay, well, I know I'm gonna get $20 at the end of the month, so
Yeah.
I want those iPods, I gotta save up this amount of months because my mom says she can't afford to buy the iPods,
Yeah.
so it does help in some ways,
Yeah.
I've always liked allowances. I wish I had more of an allowance, but it was like 10 of us.
Girl. Yeah. There's no such thing as allowance. You just doing your job. Mommy and daddy will treat you every once in a while to ice cream, you
Oh
know?
yeah, I remember we used to have to go to. You remember Compare Foods?
Yes, girl.
My dad would buy a box of chicken
Hmm.
because there's 10 of us, so he buys the big boxes of chicken,
Yeah.
and we were eating skinless, fatness chicken before it was popular. He'd be like, "Skin all that chicken, clean the fat. I don't want to see no fat on that chicken." I thought when I got older, I said, "I'm gonna buy Purdue because
Yeah.
Purdue, you don't gotta clean it."
Yeah.
Little did I know you do gotta clean Purdue too.
Yes, you do.
But like, it seemed like the Compare Food chicken, like the chicken just came right off the farm and they put it in the box.
Facts. Let me tell you, I remember cleaning some of that chicken.
Oh
That was
yeah.
not an easy task. I was like, there's still blood on here. What's going on?
Oh yeah.
The struggle.
Oh yeah.
Um, Callis says allowance depends on the effort sometimes. I agree. I agree
Oh yeah.
because not for nothing, I think allowances are great for children to learn finances. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when you get older and you're working at your job, I mean, your job
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give you a bonus for every little thing that you do,
Oh yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
there's potential. You put in that extra effort, you might get that added bonus at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
And starting a child off young gets them in that mindset that
Mm-hmm.
effort
Mm-hmm.
equals money, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
So, again, as a parent, this is something that we should be teaching our children.
Oh.
Um, I get it that there might be some parents who just don't have it. They can't
Mm-hmm.
afford to be giving their children allowances. But then, instead of having it monetary,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, I don't know, you get to watch a special movie or
Mm-hmm.
you get popcorn and some candy and, we have movie night because you did a
Oh yeah.
great job. We have to think outside the box sometimes as parents.
Yeah, kids want to be appreciated too. Sometimes we
Yeah.
forget. We're like, oh well, we're just making them do A, B, and Z. But
Yeah.
kids need to be feel appreciated. Like,
Agreed.
oh yeah, we thank you. That was good. You helped the household. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, not for nothing, there's some parents that are so strict that
Mhm,
there's no allowances, there's no
mhm,
good job, there's
mhm.
no, oh, way to go, buddy. It's, you were supposed to do that. Oh,
Oh
you
yeah.
were supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, you're going to raise a child who doesn't really appreciate anything. Like, you're raising a drill sergeant. That's really what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
This child is not going to want to contribute anything later in life. They're probably going to turn into a lazy bum because you're like, well, nobody cares if I did it or not. I'm supposed to do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you forget children talk to each other.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're like, oh, my mommy and daddy. Oh, well, my mommy and daddy doesn't do that. So, again, not babying, but
Mm-hmm.
showing children that if you work hard, it pays off in the end.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see. Wait. Oh, no. I was gonna skip over Callus. My bad. I told my kids before to give me my money back. Wait, give me my money back. They pulled a grab and dash with toys. I want a refund because this wasn't clean right. Them kids ran off to the mall real quick. Amazon, it was already ordered.
Oh, shoot.
Diane says 2 of my kids work for me, so they now buy their own stuff. And I was hard on them growing up. Wow. I mean, not for nothing. I commend you having children work for you and teaching them to buy their own things.
Oh, yeah.
They need to understand the value of a dollar.
Oh, yeah.
There's some children out there that just think mommy and daddy are made of money
Oh,
and
yeah.
don't understand cost.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you that when my son understood the value of a dollar too much for his age when he was younger, so much so we would be in the supermarket or like shopping at Target or something, and he's like, mommy, I really want that toy, but we got bills to pay. Did we pay the light bill this month? I'm like, wait, what? I care about the light bill. He's like, well, Mom, I just, yeah, he says, I don't want to be taking money away from the bills. And I'm like, you're listening to too much grown folk talk.
Yeah.
If you want that little $5 toy, I can buy you that $5 toy. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. But it's important that they learn responsibility, and
Yes.
and it's good to work. I'm since working papers, I was about 14. I've had a job.
I feel you.
It's a little. That's another gets back into the coddling, and then new generations.
Yeah.
Like it's totally different from our parents' generation to our generation. How do we? I would like to mend the two. Melt them together. But sometimes I think I'm a little too soft.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I don't want to be this way either. But that way produced me, and there was some good things in that way. So how can I blend the two together?
That's the truth. Yes.
Yeah.
See, at what age do we allow our children to have that type of, freedom? Do we, how many parents out there that are watching, when did you start allowing your child to have sleepovers or, go to their friend's house and have a sleepover? What age did you allow your child to go to the mall with their friends or go to the movies and, there's no parental control there? There's some parents that don't allow their children to go anywhere without mommy and daddy, like, oh, you want to go to the mall? Okay, let's go, hold my hand. We going. Oh, your friend can hold my hand.
Yeah. Or is there a difference between boys and girls? Because sometimes I find myself, and my daughter points it out all the time. Yeah. You let him do this, but not me. And it's like, you know what? You're right. Why did I let him do this and not you? And things happen to boys just as well as it happen to girls.
Yes, they do.
So it's like, how do I have those things in my head, It's
Yes.
like, oh no, you can't go because you're a girl.
Society has molded us that way because that's
Uh-huh.
another thing. When we were that age, when we were preteens and teenagers, we would be like, oh, why can't I go to the mall with my friends? Like, it's a public place. We're with our friends. We're traveling in a group.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't understand, oh, I can be kidnapped, or,
Mm-hmm.
there were gang
Oh yeah.
initiations when we were growing up,
Mm-hmm.
MS-13 was up in the mall
Oh yeah.
slicing people just to get
Mm-hmm.
initiated into the gang, so
Oh yeah.
it's, monitoring your children. When do
Mm-hmm.
you stop holding their hand and
Mm-hmm.
allow them certain freedoms,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? Um, Callis is half stepping from our topic before. Yes, half stepping. I'm so sorry you had to ask for a refund on those shorts.
Shoot.
I know them kids didn't get no allowance for a couple of months after that.
Oh yeah.
Diane says, I still have to meet the parents before my 15-year-old goes anywhere. That is a
That's
fact.
true.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're allowing your child to go into someone else's house, and you don't know what happens in that house with the adults and the children. So
Oh
I
yeah.
100% agree. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, but there's a thing called molestation, and
Mm-hmm.
that child could be suffering or going through something, and now you're allowing your child to go and be a part of that situation. So yes, I do agree. You should at least know the parents. You should know, you should have some sort of relationship.
And let them know
If
that you're
that
present.
yeah, because I might have to come over here and handle some business, um Gala says definitely have to meet the parents first. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you also want to see what kind of environment, maybe that
Mm-hmm.
house ain't so clean, like you
Or they
got
let their kids drink
cockroaches.
beer.
If you got them little friends in the house, you ain't bringing them back home to my house. Like,
Oh yeah.
Diane says, and my 19-year-old is on the way to North Carolina right now and has to text me when she gets there. Yes,
Oh yeah.
not for
Mm-hmm.
nothing, 19. Your
Mm-hmm.
child is old enough to be living on their own
Oh yeah.
and working and everything, but they're 19. I mean, yeah, they're not thinking about all of the things that we are as
Mm-hmm.
parents.
Mm-hmm.
So my boyfriend Dwayne, his niece, she's 18, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, I got freedom and I'm in my car and I'm here and I'm there, and
Mm-hmm.
you know they don't realize the dangers that are out
Oh yeah.
there. Like, she wants to get in her car and just drive to Great Adventure, and I'm like, I'm not even getting in the car and driving to Great Adventure, and I look how old I am.
Yeah, it has to
um
be checks and balances.
there has to. I mean, a good parent is going to have their child continue to check in and make sure they
Mm-hmm.
ain't out there doing something stupid, being careless.
Oh yeah.
uh, you
Yeah, but like my
responsibility.
22-year-old, same way. It's like I know where he's at all times, even for myself, and even going with your partner or anything like that. You're saying, okay, hey, I'm at the store, because not only is it a checks and balances thing, it
Yeah.
also is a courtesy thing, a
Mhm.
respect thing,
Yes.
because I'm gonna respect you enough to tell you where I'm going. I'm older now, so I'm have more freedom.
Yeah.
Even with myself and checks and balances with my husband, hey, I'm going to the store. If something happened to me, the last place you knew was I was going to this store.
Fact.
So this is what the kids need to understand too. When they're 16, they don't really understand it. But I try to talk to my daughter a lot and tell her, look, it's not that you can't go, because if you couldn't go, you wouldn't be outside. But the fact that I do need to know where you were on your way to, because
Mm.
if something did happen, you wind up missing,
Yeah.
I could say to the police, this was the last place they was going. Just
Mhm.
like the lady what her was it, her fiance or something. She
Yeah,
wound up being caught dead, and the
I was
fiance,
just thinking that.
and when she
They
got,
were grown. They were
yes,
grown. But
mm-hmm,
thank God that her parents or her family,
mm-hmm,
she did a check-in at some point.
right,
They knew
mm-hmm,
that they were traveling in this
mm-hmm,
area on vacation.
mm-hmm.
I mean, what that guy did afterwards, like he just went up and disappeared. Like, I ain't helping you find her. Like,
Oh yeah,
we should have arrested him then, you know?
mm-hmm. Oh
But,
yeah,
that's the whole thing is, I don't think at that age it's coddling, it's
mm-hmm,
helping your child to
mm-hmm.
become a responsible adult.
Oh
Now
yeah,
that you're in that early adulthood,
mm-hmm,
remember I said there's levels to this on
mm-hmm.
babying your child. It's not, oh, you have to check in with me and I need to know. It's more of there's danger out there.
Oh
There's
yeah,
people who will kidnap you, that will rape you, that will
mm-hmm.
murder you.
Oh yeah,
It could be a car accident. It could be something that was an honest mistake.
oh
I
yeah,
still need to know, where are you? Are
oh yeah,
you being responsible?
oh yeah.
So the levels, it's you never stop being a parent. It's just,
Mm.
how tight do you have those reins around your child? You're like, are
Oh
you
yeah.
strangling the life out of them? Or you just like, we're holding hands, we're good.
Yeah, I like to hold the hands. We still hold the hands. When you
Yeah.
have your kids and your great grandkids, we still hold hands.
That's the truth. Joyce has chimed in. She said, exactly, know the parents. Like I said, that's super important. If
Oh
there's
yeah.
any parents out there that are listening and your child is young and
Mm-hmm.
hasn't started visiting their friends' houses, that's a must. You
Oh yeah.
must know the parents.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Kala says they don't even realize the dangers. You are looked at as doing too much from your kids until it falls at their feet.
Mm.
And that's the truth. You
Oh yeah.
know, some children are hard-headed and they just think, oh, stop breathing down my neck, like, let me be, I'm old enough, not
Oh yeah.
realizing until it's too late.
Oh yeah.
We're
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep you safe and open your eyes to the dangers in the world. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a grown woman, but late at night outside, like, I'm not driving to the ATM at midnight because I have
Mm-hmm.
to make this deposit.
Mm-hmm.
Even at my age, I got to be safe driving
Mm-hmm.
out there late at night because you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh
I could
yeah.
go to the gas station and somebody could sneak into the back seat of my car while I'm
Mm-hmm.
pumping gas
Mm-hmm.
and slice my throat when I get in the
Oh yeah.
car. I mean, things like that happen. So
Yep.
I don't think, again, that even when your child is older, I don't think you should stop being a parent. I
Oh yeah.
think there's just some tweaks that you have to make to the
Oh
formula,
yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Joyce says open communication. Yes. We should always have some sort of open communication with our children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll share on that one. My child felt comfortable coming to me and talking about anything, like
Mm-hmm.
literally anything, things that I probably didn't want to know. But I kept that open communication with him where,
Mm-hmm.
he felt like he wanted to come to me to talk about girls and sex
Mm-hmm.
and, this fight that he got into with somebody and mom, what do I do in this situation?
Oh yeah.
Some parents have those, like I said, that chokehold on their
Mm-hmm.
children, where their child doesn't feel comfortable coming to them asking anything because
Mm-hmm.
for fear that they might get the smackdown for
Mm-hmm.
even bringing up a certain topic.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about communication in relationships all the time. you have a relationship with your child.
Child.
You should have a relationship with your child, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do your children feel coming to you?
I think they're pretty. The son is a little bit more closed mouth with certain things, you
Yeah.
know. Like but he still tells me things. I think boys are different though
Okay.
with certain things. I feel like, example, if you have a girlfriend or something, unless he really, really into that girl,
Mm-hmm.
I won't get to meet her.
Oh, get out of here.
It's like he's just out there having fun. But if it's
Yeah.
somebody he really, really like, then it's like, Ma, you know, my friend. Wait, what friend? What friend? I didn't even know you was talking to somebody.
Yeah, really.
You know?
Fill me in.
Yeah.
Do they have a name?
Yeah. But the girl, I think too, was important for me. Like we talk a lot. I'm her parent. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the friend,
Okay.
but I'm a confidant.
Okay.
You know, because
Yeah.
I don't want to be too much in the friend zone either.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But
my name is still Mom.
yes. But I always want her to feel comfortable with me. Like I talk to her about sex, and sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, you got a boyfriend now? Is you punky thumping?" You know? And she's
Yes.
looking at me like, "Mom, did you say that?" But these are some of the things. Like I said, my mother had me with "Where Did I Come From" book. I've seen penises and stuff since 8 years old.
Girl, I feel you. I'm gonna tell you, I had that conversation. My sister-in-law, because you know, I was not raised by my parents, but I was raised by my brother and my sister-in-law. And my sister-in-law sat me down and drew me a diagram when it came time to talking about the birds and the bees. And let me tell you, the blood in my body rushed to my head and my ears were ringing. They were hot. I couldn't breathe. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to know about this. You know, let's start this conversation.
Yeah, but when you left, I bet it had you thinking,
girl.
Like,
didn't I tell you I was sneaking to watch the Playboy channel? Now I'm curious. What's that penis all about?
Oh yeah, you have to be. You try, like you said, you have to have an open communication with the kids.
Yeah.
But you know, too, at the same time, like I never want my daughter to feel like she can't come to me with something. And sometimes it's hard because you're like, I gotta call my brother, my sister, or my girlfriend, and be like, "Oh my goodness, I need help.
Help me out.
Help me, boyfriend. What am I gonna do?"
I definitely feel you.
But at the same time, my daughter's pretty mature for her age, and I'm glad she came to me and was like, "Yeah, I like somebody. I want to call him my boyfriend. You know, it's not like I'm getting married or nothing, but you know, we're dating."
Okay.
So,
what level are we dating at, though?
Yeah,
you know, I need to know that. I was
glad that she did that. Yeah, and it's almost, you know, I feel comfortable that if she decides that, like, I would prefer her not to. Yeah. But if she decides to do something, I do feel comfortable that she'll come to me. And at that point, all I could do is point her to what she's supposed to do. Because, you know, you don't want them sneaking off.
Girl. No, because that's when babies come back. Like, no. Right. You ain't making me a grandma before I want to be. Yeah, no. Yeah. I will say, I know my son had that conversation with me when he was 17. You know, my son worked with me at my job. I had gotten him in. He was 17, you know, making his own little money, got his little car. And it was New Year's. New Year's Eve, and he was going to a party with friends. And, you know, like I was open about that. Like, yeah, you know, go have fun, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
We're at work and he's sitting next to me and he's like, "Hey, Mom, do you think after work you can take me to CVS and help me buy condoms?" And I'm like, "You want to buy what?" I tried not to change my face, but like anybody who knows me, my face is showing you everything. And I'm just like, "You want to go buy condoms?" And I'm like, I don't want to know what kind of condoms you're wearing. Like, but I took him to the store and I'm like, here's Trojans, like,
Oh yeah.
you're a big boy. These are for you. And if you're a regular boy, these are for you. Go home, try each one on so you're not embarrassed when you get to that point.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was such an awkward conversation. And we're in CVS in the aisle together. And I'm like, I'm the embarrassed one. Like, he should be embarrassed. But I'm like, I can't believe I'm in here buying condoms with my child. Like, so awkward. But I tried to be that mom that taught him to be responsible and keep open communication. Thank God he didn't have to use the condoms that night. It was just a trial run, I can only imagine the struggle he went through when he went home to try them on. But, how many parents are willing to be open with their child like that and teach them the right ways to do things and encourage the responsibility,
I think maybe our generation probably is more open than because our parents' generation, they, I had our parents, so compared to other people's parents, but I guess most people's parents from those generations, like their grandparents, was pretty closed mouthed about certain things, and then also they closed mouthed about things, and then sometimes I wonder about the rush to get the kids out of the home. Because when I look at other cultures, like I'm very into the Indian culture, and their sons stay with the parents for life, even when they get married. But it comes
no. You gotta go.
But here's the thing with it comes reverse. So the Indian parents will take care of the children to a certain age. If they have a son, most of the time the oldest son still, when he in turns get married and stuff, they still live with the parents. And he switched the roles then. So now the parents is, it's kind of like they're taking care of the parents. Okay. The parents still help in raising the kids. So they keep a certain value, I believe. Gotcha. But then sometimes I look at that and I'm like, okay, my son want to be a doctor. I'm going to be here. I'm going to support him. Long as he's trying to do something, I'm going to sit here and support him. Gotcha. But then at other times, I'm like, buddy, it's time for you to go. Did that school open up yet? What you doing?
It's 1:30. You got to go.
Yes. But it's for me, it's always like a puzzle on when should I just cut the ties? Do I want to cut the ties like that? Not so much cut the ties that he's not going to be your child anymore, but as far as the support. And that support that you fully supporting, because I believe too, when the child is in the home, unless they get crazy, then it's time for like, okay, buddy, you being disrespectful, you're not respecting the home, because there's still certain things that you have to do when you're living with your parents to respect the home. You can't be bringing a girl in here doing the hoochie coochie. So, you got a job, you got money, go get you a hotel.
Word.
Word. So there's still certain things. But then at the same time, it's like, I'm just puzzled on where to let it go.
Yes.
And when to stop the support or not stop the support. Because then in turn, when I do get older, I want my kids to take care of me. Make sure,
of course,
make sure I'm good. And I think sometimes with our society, we don't take care of our kids, our elderly no more. Like I noticed, the difference between sometimes in New York and opposed to the South, when you look at the healthcare and how they get home attendants and the elderly getting hours in the city, in New York City, is in abundance. But then sometimes you go to some places like the South, they used to taking care of their elderly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're both basically like, okay, you going to a nursing home. Down south, you be like, your grandma got Alzheimer's and she's running outside butt naked.
Yeah.
You need to get her help. You know?
Yeah. You're not doing a good job of taking care of her anymore, you know? But that is a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes where you live dictates how you're taught
Mm-hmm.
to take over and
Mm-hmm.
ensure that your parents are well cared for as
Mm-hmm.
they get older.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of it starts in
Mm-hmm.
how the parents are raising their children,
Oh
in
yeah.
what we're teaching them. So, if you're harsh and kicking your child to the curb,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's your 18th birthday, get out today.
Oh yeah.
Like, we have to remember
Mm-hmm.
full circle comes back, and
Yeah.
as soon as that one little hint of Alzheimer's comes in, and they're like, you going in a nursing home, bye. Like,
Mm-hmm.
your child will kick you to the curb. So
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
like I told you, there's levels to this,
Mm-hmm.
and how we care for our children, and babying them or being too hard on them and not
Mm-hmm.
caring. So that brings us to our last level of
Mm-hmm.
babying your child. What age do you push your child out of the house?
Mm-hmm.
17, 18 years old, when they graduate high school, are you in a rush to kick them out and say, go get a job, go get your own place, go away to college? Or are you that parent that's like, you still live here, you ain't going anywhere, and you're still doing your kids' laundry, and you're still cleaning up and cooking for them? Like,
Mm-hmm.
where do you draw the line?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with your child still living at home after. Where's the
Mm-hmm.
responsibility? Are you making your child now responsible? Are you charging them rent
Mm-hmm.
to show them, like, ain't nobody living for free?
Mm-hmm.
Are you having them, chime in on the cooking responsibilities and cleaning up the kitchen and
Mm-hmm.
cleaning up the bathroom, vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
like, what responsibility level are you putting this child at
Oh
now?
yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. For me, it's at a point where you can't follow rules anymore.
Hmm.
Because in life, when you get an apartment, you have to follow rules of the apartment. Maybe you can't put holes in the walls. You can't play a game and get upset and punch a hole in the wall. There's rules
I mean,
to
some
living
people
on your
do,
phone.
but
So,
you won't have to fix it.
yes. So sometimes the kids think that, oh yeah, I'm gonna live on my own. I'm out of here. I don't gotta listen to my parents or whatever, and
Yeah.
this and this and that. There's still rules when you get out of the home.
Yeah.
So to me, my push is when you can't follow the rules anymore. Now
Mm.
you got to go get your own apartment and follow the rules to there.
Girl,
You know?
preach.
Yes. And then they're going to learn real quick. Can't be blasting my music. And I don't know what that, some game my son plays. I can't be making the sound effects of the game all loud because there's other people in here.
Yeah.
They done complain to the landlord.
Yep. And now you may not have somewhere to live.
Oh yeah.
Knocking back at mom and dad's door like, can I come home? I just got kicked out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or they got to follow the rules of paying rent too.
Agreed.
You don't pay on time, your butt is out. You know?
Agreed. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know about you, but I moved out at 18. I was like, later for these rules, like I was like, you trying to keep a leash on me? I'm 18.
Oh, yeah.
I got my own independence. Yeah,
That's exactly what happened to me.
I've been trying to go back ever since. Like, can I come back home and live? It's cheaper there.
Oh yeah. I didn't want to start out. I think here was my tipping point. When I started going to college, and you home on your break. So
Yeah.
you in college, you be like, the party don't start till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock,
Mm.
So
That
you in and out the way you want to go in and out. I got home to my house and I was like, yeah, I'm going to the party. I'm not getting back to 4 or 5 in the morning. My father said, not in here.
yes.
Well, it ain't happening in here. You want to run the streets? There's the door.
Facts.
and and
Facts.
and it's either you're gonna choose to say, okay, I'm gonna go along with what he's saying, or you're gonna be like, peace. And
Yeah.
my option was peace. I'm out of here.
Girl.
And had to realize I started had to follow rules for somebody place else. Because I had, was in a roommate situation with someone, and we had to follow the rules of what the house was and what the landlord had. Couldn't be running through the house dancing all night, stomping and stuff because people below you.
Yes. Yes. So, that's the truth though. I mean, not for nothing at that age, I know we know how 18-year-olds think, and you think it's party, 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 party. I'm independent and now I can do what I want when I want.
Oh yeah. Can't buy no drink.
No. Girl. Well, it was that gas station we used to go to. We was 18 and drinking, yes.
Sneaking like,
but these kids don't realize that you get out there, you still have rules to follow. Like, you thought we were being tough on you as parents. Nah, we was prepping you for life. You go, there's rules for you to follow. Unless you get a really good job and you buy your own house. Now it's a party. Oh, yeah. You do whatever you want, how you want.
Oh yeah.
Until the neighbors start complaining.
Oh yeah.
It's the kids just don't seem to understand until it's too late and they done got kicked out.
Oh yeah.
I see Diane had commented. She says, I live 2 blocks from my mom while my brothers live states away. I help mold my kids and take care of my mom too. Well, Diane, I'm up for you.
Oh yeah.
You the one making the real sacrifice. I hope you got your bottle of wine. But
droplets.
For real. But Diane stepped up where she happens to be doing the most and raising children and also taking care of a parent. That's a lot. I know it. When I was with my son's father, I was raising my son, taking care of the mister too, and taking care of his family. There was a lot of people living in that house, and I was doing it at a young age, and we both took care of his grandmother, and there was a lot of responsibility at such a young age. I was in my 20s trying to figure out paying a mortgage and, got to put food on the table, working 2 jobs and going to school. It was a lot,
Oh yeah.
And it's crazy that growing up actually molded me for that lifestyle.
Yes.
Because growing up in my home, my dad had a motorcycle accident when I was 3. And, at 4 years old, I'm over here cooking breakfast and telling my dad what we need to buy at the supermarket. Like, does your 4-year-old know what you need to buy at the supermarket? No. He's like, I need fruit roll-ups, Mom. That's not on the list. So, I'm over here telling my dad we need bread and we need eggs and don't forget the orange juice, and I'm taking him by the hand, showing him where the supermarket is. Growing up, I raised my younger siblings, and let me not say raised because obviously they had parents, but I was the built-in babysitter, and I had cared for them, and I helped take care of both my grandmothers.
Oh
It
yeah.
prepped me for that life.
Oh yeah.
How many of us have children that can be that responsible?
Mm.
And that's my question of, you know, how much are we babying our children? Could they be ready for life tomorrow? You know,
Mm-hmm.
how much responsibility are we giving them?
Oh
Or
yeah.
are we coddling them and saying, oh no, Jeffrey, mommy's got that? No, let that
Mm-hmm.
little boy make his bed and clean up his own mess.
Oh yeah.
Give him some responsibility.
Yeah. That's why I would like to see the two from like our parents' generation and our generation
Yeah.
blend. Because
Mm,
I want to have the understanding and the openness and the compassion,
yeah.
but then I want that this is the hard knocks life type of discipline too. So
Yes.
it's like, in this generation, how do we blend it?
Yeah. That
you know, I'm
that's a
having
good
sometimes a
question.
hard time with the
Mm,
blend, you know?
yes. Blending doesn't always go so easily.
Yes.
you know, we have to come up with that middle ground. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that brings me back to the whole thing of there's two people in this
Mm-hmm.
relationship,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully. Not for nothing, there is a population of people that are
Mm-hmm.
single parents and
Yeah.
literally doing this on their own.
Oh
So
yeah.
they don't have to worry about the other parent chiming in. But
Mm-hmm.
for those that are sharing a household and raising the children together, you have to be on the same page. These are
Yes.
conversations that need to be had. How are we going to raise these children? Are we
Yes.
going to teach them responsibility, or
Mm-hmm.
are we going to keep them in a bubble where,
Mm-hmm.
don't do this and don't do that, and oh, cover your ears, and oh, close your eyes?
Oh yeah.
How much are we going to shelter these children? If you're going to be that parent that shelters the hell out of your child,
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're also going to be that parent that still has your 35-year-old child living at home
Yeah.
because they don't know how to survive in the real world.
Oh yeah. You got to get them prepped. Oh yeah.
you know? Um, oh, Micheline, she says, hey, ladies. Hey, Micheline.
Hey.
Blast from the past.
Oh yeah.
Diane says, my oldest is 25 and running amok. I went wrong somewhere with that one. Girl, it
Yeah.
happens. It definitely happens. Um, you know, it's still not too late to pull in the reins at some point, because
Oh yeah.
not for nothing, at some point in
Mm-hmm.
life, your child is still going to ask you questions or
Oh
want to
yeah.
come to you for help. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when you got to be like, well, if you looking for my help,
Mm-hmm.
this is how it's going to run. Like, you got to pull them reins back in, and they're going to have to give up something. They're going to have to
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice
Oh yeah.
to get things right again.
Oh yeah.
Um, like I said, my son's 25. Pushing him out the door, girl, that was the most difficult thing in my life I ever had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, there were points
Oh
where
yeah.
my child was not fulfilling his responsibilities as a young adult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to clean up behind you in the kitchen, and you're not helping clean up the bathroom. And
Mm-hmm.
um, it came to the point where he was not being responsible. He knew how to be
Mm-hmm.
responsible, but he made a conscious choice
Not
to
to.
not be
Mm-hmm.
responsible. And it came to the point where mommy had to say, goodbye.
Oh yeah.
You must go out into the
Mm-hmm.
world, and you can not be responsible out there.
Oh yeah.
But over here is a
Oh yeah.
different story,
It's like once you want to stop following them rules, you're gonna sink or swim.
Exactly.
Because you
And
got to do it somewhere.
girl, not for nothing, that boy got his act together real quick. And
Mm-hmm.
his first apartment that he moved into, You know, when everything comes back full circle.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, I told you so. He moved into an apartment with people who were dirty. And those people were not, he was like, Mom, let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
about the rings in the bottom of the fridge. And I'm like, oh, really? Let's hear
Oh
this
yeah.
story. Tell me all about that, you know?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, you know, they're not cleaning up behind themselves in the bathroom and this and that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this sounds familiar.
Oh yeah.
He had a taste of his own medicine.
But the
And
training came back.
girl, girl, he cleaned up his act real quick. And
Oh yeah.
listening to this, you know, this young adult now being responsible, I'm like, good job, Mom.
Yes.
Good job, roommate, for making him realize this is what you were doing to me.
Oh yeah. You gotta clap it up for that one.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. I was excited because I was like, finally, the lesson has come. Mom was not over here, you know, just being a jerk to be a jerk. I'm
Mm-hmm.
teaching you real life stuff.
Oh
You
yeah.
had it. You had it easy here.
Mm-hmm.
All you had to do was be responsible, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But that's my question on that last stage is, you know, when do you cut the cord? You
Mm-hmm.
know, at what age do you wait for your
Mm-hmm.
child to want to push out on their own, or do
Mm-hmm.
you wait for the breaking point where you're like, you don't want to listen, you got to go, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when, or do you just continue to coddle your child for life and they're 40 years old still living at home with no significant other, no children.
Not contributing. A lot of them older ones, they ain't contributing crap. And it's like,
For
wait
real.
a
They still
minute.
coming over. Mom, what you making for dinner? Like, so you better get out there and get your own damn dinner.
Yes.
What you making me for dinner? How about
Oh,
that?
yeah. Oh, shoot.
Carolina has chimed in. Hey, Carolina. Yes. My mama is a way big part of my life. She won't let me go. I wonder how smothered my fiance feels.
Oh,
Girl,
shoot.
yes. Mom will not let go. Girl, I know you independent, so I feel
Mm-hmm.
you on it. And sometimes the parent is like, no, I got you. You ain't leaving me ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You here till the death.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a good question because I know Carolina has two children and
Mm-hmm.
her fiance now. And how does the fiance feel? Is he okay with mom still cooking dinner? I mean, he probably is because it's a good home cooked meal. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where's that line of separation? You know, when do you need your own space, or are you okay with continuing on? You know, that adult stage, that adult level can make or break a relationship. You
Oh,
know, if
yeah.
you a mama's boy, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, mommy's coddling you or daddy's coddling you too much as an adult, could make things difficult for you in your love
Mm-hmm.
life.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's where we come back to the checklist. How
Oh,
was
yeah.
your upbringing and how are you at raising children? You know, you might
Oh,
luck out and you got a man who's coddled too.
oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is crazy. But you know, I want to kind of put it out there because, you know, Carolina brings something to mind. Uh what about non-biological parents?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um you know, we're talking about couples together raising children, but what happens, you know, when mommy and daddy separate and
Mm-hmm.
mommy moves on or daddy moves on, and that child is in the household now with a non-biological parent? Are you asking the right questions?
Oh, yeah.
Are you, you know, like, does your significant other get a say
Uh-huh.
how that child is now being raised? Or are
Mm-hmm.
you that parent that's like, that's my child, and
Mhm.
you sit down and shut up. Like
Yeah.
you ain't got to say in how I'm raising this child.
Mhm.
I'm curious to know, is there anyone out there that's going through that?
Mhm.
Being the non-biological parent,
Oh yeah.
what's your life like? Like, do
Oh
you feel like you don't have a say, or are you like, uh, this kid's living in the house that I'm living in? I have a say, like,
yeah.
or hear me today,
Oh yeah.
you know. But
That one is a hard one.
it
Yeah.
is,
And
you
then you
know.
gotta learn some things. Like, if you have those type of situations, you have to learn some things. And I hope younger people, younger than us, maybe tuning in or watch this live after the fact and look at the fact that these are some of the questions you have when you have children and you get with someone that has no children, or that they have children and you're doing the blended family,
Yes.
because it's a compromise, and you can't be like, well, you can't tell my child this.
Mm.
You got to sit there and talk. And then some of the things, like you said, as far as people being on the same page, sometimes one parent might have the better discipline or the better advice, but because it's the non-biological child, we might feel like it's like coming from a different place. Like, are you attacking my child?
Mm.
you know
That's the truth.
so it's
That's the
like,
truth.
no, these are just my rules and this is how I operate. I'm not attacking the child. And sometimes I know with us females, we'll be like, oh, you know what? Just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. I got it.
Yeah.
And as a female, you saying that to a male trying to help you raise a male child, you shouldn't do that. You got to come
No,
to some type of terms,
I agree. I
because
agree 100%.
then that can make the other person be like, not that they don't love the child and the child ain't in the house, but it'd be like, I'm done. Oh, he running amok over there. Oh, you running amok? Okay. Run back and forth, knock yourself out. And then,
Exactly.
yeah, then the
I ain't got
biological
no
parent
say
comes
on
in.
this. Just run into the wall. Do it again.
Yes. And if you don't establish that, that could start problems too, because then now the biological parent is like, why you running, knock his head in the wall?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, but you told me, you
Yes.
know? So you got to come into compromise of, and like I said, be on the same page of how to maneuver and go
Yep.
about helping raise the other child and discipline and stuff. And it's not easy.
It's not.
It ain't easy at all.
It definitely is not.
Oh yeah.
I'll chime in on that. Dwayne and I living here together, and my child was grown and still living at home. I looked to Dwayne as, be a father figure. I wanted him to step up, and I wanted him to put his foot down if he had to put his foot down. So much so that even my son's father was like, well, yeah, you a dad to my kid too. Like he even said, like, I'm expecting you to be a good role model.
Yeah.
The other parent is usually not that open, and they're like, don't be talking
Yes.
to my kid. You can't tell him what
Mm-hmm.
to do. That's my job, and
Oh yeah.
he's like, no, please take the job.
Oh yeah.
I see Diane said, I will be honest. It took me a hot minute to allow my husband to step up as a parent to my daughters. Got you.
Oh yeah.
Diane, how long did it take you? So, like, was this a 6-month trial period? Did it take years
Mm-hmm.
before you were okay with
Mm-hmm.
someone else disciplining your child, or giving them advice, or
Mm-hmm.
anything? I'm curious for that, because um you know it could put um it could put what's the word that I'm looking for? It could divide the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, where now you and your significant other are bumping heads all the time. And again, that's where I said, You might be signing up, divorce papers soon,
Oh, yeah.
and it could all be because of difference of opinion with
Mhm.
children,
Oh, yeah.
it can make and break relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Diane says, it took me a couple of years because he didn't have any of his own, and I was a single parent for so long that I couldn't release the reins. That's
Mm.
difficult. Yes.
So did
Um,
she ask him to step up, or did he step up on his own?
that's a good question. Yeah. So Diane, did your husband, was it that he wanted to step up and you were like, I got this?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he just, fall into place until you were okay and said, okay, you jump in now?
Yes. But
She said,
sometimes when they do that, it's like, you don't let the husband come and help in an initial part. She said it took 6 years. At that point, he probably be like, "Look, I'm done. I love the kids. They here. I'm gonna help take care of them. But
yeah,
you do the discipline. You do that.
yeah, definitely. She said that's why it took him 6 years to convince me to have another kid. And he finally just stepped up when he's seen I was at my breaking point. Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I clap it up for him for just
Oh yeah.
stepping up and just, recognizing that
Mm-hmm.
you made way too much sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
But 6 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I commend him for sticking around and making it work. He made
Mm-hmm.
that
Oh yeah.
sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
because he loved you, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously he had love for your kids as well.
Oh yeah.
um some relationships would have broke year one,
Oh yeah.
like they'd have been like, wait a minute,
I
something's
can't
wrong
say
in
nothing.
this.
but
Exactly, I'm just gonna sit back and be quiet, the silent type.
Yeah, but you have to commend her too, because she also said, even though it's her breaking point, she says, "Okay, I'm ready for the help now.
Yes.
I'm ready for you
Yes,
to step in." Because sometimes
exactly.
you could go 20 years and people are not ready for you to step in.
Yeah.
Like no way.
Like, I'm still going through the struggle, you still don't trust me.
Yes, yes, that's it.
you know this is so true.
Oh, yeah.
Diane says, we have been together almost 14 years and finally got married in June. So he's definitely a keeper.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did see them. Those were very nice wedding pictures. You were gorgeous. But girl, that's a long time, 14 years for that man to be sitting quiet somewhere.
Yes.
I tell you, but that's the thing that
Mhm.
we're saying here tonight is there are levels to babying your child,
Mhm.
and at what point do you sit down
Mhm.
with your significant other and establish the rules?
Oh yeah.
So whether you are the biological parent, you're the step parent,
Mhm.
everybody's opinion counts, or it
Mhm.
should count.
Oh yeah.
So I hope that people out there are taking some of these points and applying them to their own households, to their own relationships, to their own families,
Mhm.
because we need to start being a little bit more open.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes we're standing in our own way, we're our own worst enemy.
Mhm. Mhm. Right
Diane
there.
Diane says, girl, I was married twice before, so I was not rushing into another marriage. Well, then, okay, I don't blame you. I done been through this. I'm a pro now.
Oh yeah.
I give it up to you because I have not been married at all. So, yeah, you got married for me. Thanks. I'm going to have to call you up and get some advice,
Oh yeah.
you know? But yeah, I really hope that this topic has opened up the eyes of some people. You
Mhm.
know, I'm going to put my suggestion out there. I don't know who I need to write to, my congressman or somebody. Um, we should request some parenting classes. You know,
Mhm.
we're going to create a checklist before being a parent
Oh
and then
yeah.
another checklist while being a parent.
Oh yeah.
It's going to help somebody out there.
Oh yeah.
So, any last thoughts, Keisha?
I just think that, some point everybody's ready to sink or swim. And life is important to teach the kids that there's rules that we have to abide by and follow, because those are rules that you're teaching the kid from 1 up until sometimes 22.
Mm,
You know, so
yes.
like you said, there's levels. You keep going through stuff. So then that way, when you're 25, 30, 40, you got this then.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Did you take that
Hopefully.
parenting class?
Yeah. So I don't think it's I don't want to I'm always feel like with the letting go, I'm always in the middle, because I want to support,
Yeah.
but I don't want to make you an infinite either.
Mm,
So because when you end up, like, I go against different cultures and stuff like that, even in the Asian community,
yeah.
um, and we see how successful they are, with certain
Yeah.
things. Very successful. When Asians come here, they don't come here poor. Indians don't.
Mm,
A lot of people think Indians come here poor. There's very few poor Indians coming to America. Most of
mm,
those people are middle class, and they come here and they become the white collar class and so forth like that.
yeah.
And not to say money's everything. It's not
Mm,
everything, but I want them to know that they have the support
yes.
when needed, as long as you follow the rules. Now, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to follow my rules, then you're gonna have to sink or swim out there with somebody else's rules. You know.
Facts.
But I'm gonna be here because I want you to achieve something. Even if you say I want to be a dog watcher, I want you
Yeah.
to achieve the dog watching to the best that you can, and I'm gonna support you while you go to dog watching class if
Yes.
need be. You know, as long as you follow them rules. You
For
know.
real. For real. You better be the best dog watcher ever.
Oh yeah, and enjoy it.
Agreed. Agreed. All right.
Oh
Well,
shoot! I just see what Diane said.
what did she
Oh
say?
my goodness!
And with the checklist should come a girl. Yes, because sometimes that's a secret
Oh yeah!
until the last minute. And then you're
Oh
like, what did
yeah!
I sign up for? How do I get out of this? Can I
Oh
rescind
yeah!
this, please?
That's why I say you gotta watch them parents too. You be like, everything look good on the outside, but they crazy. You be
Yeah,
like, oh, you came from
girl.
crazy parents. Are you?
Yes.
Is this the Adams family and you Marilyn?
Always meet
Yeah.
someone in the family before committing to a relationship
Oh
because
yeah.
you may be surprised at what's on
Oh
the
yeah.
other end.
Mhm.
Well, I definitely want to say thank you to everyone that participated, everyone that came out to listen to us.
Oh yeah.
Um, we appreciate the love, we appreciate the support.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have more shows to come down the road. You know, we got some
Yes,
good topics coming.
yes.
We're going to be making this an every Friday thing. I do want to apologize again for the last 2 weeks. Sorry, your girl had COVID.
I'm
I
glad you
didn't
say
wear,
feeling good.
you know, I couldn't get through it. I didn't want to be hacking up along on here and you guys see me all looking crazy. So uh we are we are better here in the house,
Mhm.
better health. I still sound a little bit congested, but it's okay. Your girl's
Oh yeah.
doing good.
Mm-hmm.
But the two of us want to be bringing you shows every Friday. So please tune in Fridays, 7 p.m. We'll keep you posted.
Oh yeah.
Um, we'll be posting it up on our page that what the next topic will be about. And
Mm-hmm.
please go ahead and follow us on Instagram and follow us on Facebook,
Oh yeah.
T.K.O.S. We have our own page, and we'll be keeping you guys updated. So
Oh
again,
yeah.
thanks for the love and support. You guys are amazing.
Oh yeah, take care.
Love y'all. Bye.